Have you ever taken a macro photo when there is only one tiny part of your image is in focus and everything else just melts away? Or maybe sometimes you switch to a narrower aperture just to increase depth of field, and what you get is a soft image. Today I'm going to break down the perfect aperture for macro photography, what actually works, what doesn't work, and how to choose the right aperture depending on your subject, magnification, and shooting style. By the end of this video, you exactly know where to start and how to choose the right aperture for your macro shots. So stay with me. Before I talk about perfect aperture for macro photography, let's see what aperture is and what does it do. Aperture controls exposure, sharpness, and depth of field. But when it comes to macro, everything is so extreme. When you're shooting close to a subject, your depth of field becomes razor thin. We are talking millimeter or fractions of a millimeter. So even at f11 and f16, only a slice of your image is going to be in focus. That is why choosing the right aperture is crucial when it comes to macro photography. Choosing the right aperture in macro photography is not about a magic number. It is more of finding the right balance. Let's start with wide apertures like f2.8 and 4. They let more light in, so it's gonna help you to have a faster shutter speed and lower ISO. And they give you a beautiful background, a blur background known as bokeh. But using a wide aperture in macro photography comes with the price. Your depth of field is going to be extremely shallow. When you use a wide aperture, only a small portion, maybe like the eye of an insect or the petals of a flower, are going to be only in focus, and the rest of the image is going to be out of focus. Now let's talk about sweet spot. Sweet spot falls between aperture 8 and 11. The best balance between depth of field, sharpness, and control of diffraction falls between aperture 8 and 11. And aperture 11 and 16 give you more depth of field, and they are great for insects, flowers, and product photography, better subject coverage, and they're great for flowers, products, and stationary subjects. But let me tell you that if I wanna give you a magic number for macro photography, it's gonna be f11. Start with f11, and if you need anything narrower, you can go to f16, and if the light is not sufficient, go to 8. Some lenses have an aperture of 22 and 32, but I don't recommend shooting at these narrow apertures because they're gonna cause diffraction, and diffraction causes your image to be kind of soft. The diffraction causes a loss of detail, overall softness, and also less crisp images. By using these narrow apertures, you may gain some kind of a depth of field, but you lose sharpness. That's why narrow apertures like f22, 32, and 64 should not be used unless it is absolutely necessary with using proper techniques. When you stop down your aperture using something like f11 or f16, less light reaches the sensor, and your shutter speed is going to be slower, and you need to use high ISO. This is where some supports have to come in to help you get a proper image. When there is not enough light and your shutter speed goes down, I recommend you use a tripod. You can use a macro flash or LED. Another thing is to stabilize your subject as much as possible. And this is why most of the macro photographers use a speed light to shoot at f11 or f16. When you use a strobe or a speed light for your macro shots, your shutter speed is high and the chance of a motion blur is going to be extremely reduced. There are times when you are very close to a tiny subject, and even at f16 or 22, you don't get that much depth of field. There is a solution, and it is called focus stacking. And this is a concept of taking multiple shots, and then you can take these shots to your editing software, stack them together, and make one sharp image. You can do this manually, or some cameras like Nikon Z6 III that I'm using has the feature that you can do this automatically and take, let's say, 30, 40, 50, 80 shots of the subject and then put them together. The camera changes and shifts the focus after each shot, and this feature allows photographers to have a sharp image from the foreground to the background. And this feature is also used in some landscape shots. So without any further ado, I'm gonna take my 55 1:1 magnification macro lens, and I'm gonna shoot some images, and we're gonna take a look at them later on. To set the camera for focus shift shooting, just go to photo shooting menu, focus shift shooting, and then go to number of shots. I'm shooting something like 52 shots. I'll make it 50, and focus step width is 3. Interval until next shot 0. First frame exposure lock is on, and then electronic shutter options off. You have the option of shooting pixel shift. At the same time, you're shooting focus stacking, and you can assign a separate folder for these shots and click start to start shooting. Okay, we have the images in Lightroom. I'm going to select all of them and then go to Photo, Edit, and open as layers in Photoshop. These images are going to be transferred to Photoshop, and they're going to be downloaded on the bottom corner of the screen, as you see. So it's going to take a bit. I'm going to stop recording, and I'll be right back after it's done. Next step, I'm going to select all of these images and go to Edit, and go to Auto Align Layers. Choose Auto. Again, I'm going to stop recording and I'll be right back. Okay, we are done with aligning. So next step, go to Edit and go for Auto Blend Layers. Choose Stack Images and click OK. And I'm going to be right back after this is done. Alright, this is the final image. And as you can see, we have a sharp image from the front to the end of the car. Crop the image. Save it. And this is the final image. If you enjoyed and found this video useful, just hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification for more photography tips and techniques. I post a new video every week on Monday or Tuesday. I would like to hear from you. Just share with me and let me know what aperture you used for your macro shots. And as usual, take good care of yourself. Keep shooting. I see you soon. Cheers.